The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
To a MAGA conservative movie. We're just trying to represent the values that Snow White is based in. The timeless values that we all loved growing up that are sadly...
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
Disney's live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has sparked considerable controversy among fans. Originally beloved, the announcement of this reimagining led to mixed reactions, particularly regarding the casting of Rachel Zegler as Snow White. Many were surprised to see a Latin actress taking on the iconic role, igniting debates about the preservation of the story's German roots. While diversity in casting is generally celebrated, some fans argue that the fairy tale's European origins should have been maintained. The situation intensified when Zegler criticized the original 1937 film in interviews, describing it as creepy and stalkerish. She specifically called out the relationship between Snow White and Prince Charming, suggesting that the new film would veer away from the traditional true love's kiss storyline in favor of a more feminist perspective. This departure from classic themes has left some fans disillusioned. In response to the controversy surrounding Disney's remake, the Daily Wire announced its intention to produce a more faithful adaptation of the original story, which has drawn interest from fans seeking a return to the classic narrative. Zegler's comments and the creative choices surrounding the remake have left many feeling that the essence of the beloved tale is being compromised. As anticipation builds for both projects, the divide among fans continues to grow, reflecting broader discussions about representation and authenticity in storytelling.
She's not going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
The announcement of Disney's live-action remake of Snow White has generated a whirlwind of mixed reactions from fans, particularly regarding significant changes to the beloved classic. One fan expressed frustration, stating that the film no longer felt like Snow White, but rather a different movie using its name. This sentiment echoed widely as Disney revealed that instead of the iconic Seven Dwarfs, the new version would feature magical creatures. For many, this alteration was seen as a step too far. The dwarfs, integral to the charm and narrative of the original tale, are more than just background characters. They embody the heart of the story. Fans took to social media to voice their outrage, with some arguing that the removal of the dwarfs represented Disney pandering to contemporary sensibilities. The backlash intensified to such an extent that Disney was compelled to postpone the film's release in order to reinstate the dwarfs. However, the updated CGI versions of the dwarfs have also faced criticism. Many fans feel that the representation of dwarfs in the film falls short, as the digital creations evoke an uncanny valley effect. Critics argue that Disney missed an opportunity to cast actors with dwarfism who could authentically portray these beloved characters in a major production. Adding to the controversy, David Han, a former Disney designer and son of one of the original directors of Snow White, did not hold back in his critique. He called the new film insulting to both his father's legacy and Disney's original vision, asserting that the studio has lost touch with the very elements that made the original film special. Han criticized Disney for prioritizing modern updates over honoring its own history, further fueling the ongoing debate about authenticity in storytelling. In the midst of this backlash, another studio saw an opportunity to fill the void left by Disney's creative decisions. The Daily Wire, known more for its political commentary than filmmaking, announced that it is producing its own version of Snow White. This adaptation aims to remain faithful to the original story, serving as a direct counter to Disney's approach. The Daily Wire's project promises to honor the traditional fairy tale without injecting modern political themes into the narrative. Brett Cooper is set to star as Snow White in this new rendition, and she has emphasized that their version will accurately reflect the original tale while still being engaging for contemporary audiences. When the Daily Wire released its first teaser for the film, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Fans expressed excitement, feeling that this version captures the essence of the original film in a way that resonates with them. As anticipation builds for both the Disney remake and the Daily Wire's adaptation, it remains to be seen which interpretation will ultimately win the hearts of audiences. However, the discourse surrounding these adaptations highlights a deeper conversation about representation, authenticity, and the balance between tradition and modernity in storytelling. The rivalry between the adaptations of Snow White has stirred up considerable excitement and tension, especially as audiences weigh in on the two leading actresses, Brett Cooper and Rachel Zegler. As many fans have noted, if the competition boiled down to these two, it seems that Brett Cooper is emerging as the favorite. Months ago, she expressed her enthusiasm for playing Snow White. And now that she has that opportunity, her humility and gratitude have resonated with audiences. In stark contrast, Zegler's approach has been met with skepticism and discontent, leading to a growing narrative that positions Cooper as the more favorable Snow White. With the positive reactions to Brett's portrayal, some fans speculate that the Daily Wire's project could even outperform Disney's version, presenting a significant twist in Hollywood's storytelling landscape. This scenario underscores a broader audience preference for studios that honor their source material. The contrasting responses to both trailers have sent a clear message. Fans are eager for adaptations that remain true to their roots. Brett Cooper has emphasized that while her film will be relevant to contemporary audiences, it will not lose sight of the timeless themes of love, bravery, and innocence that have made Snow White beloved for generations. This careful balance is what fans hope to see from any adaptation of a classic tale, a challenge that Disney appears to be struggling with. In interviews, Zegler's comments have not made things easier for Disney. Many fans feel her remarks have been disrespectful, and some believe her attitude may contribute to the film's potential struggles. One fan notably remarked that Rachel Zegler is single-handedly destroying this movie, prompting calls for Disney to reconsider her role in the project. As anticipation builds, fans are eager to see which version of Snow White will ultimately capture the audience's heart. Will Disney's modernized feminist reimagining find a new fan base, or will the Daily Wire's faithful retelling of the original fairy tale steal the spotlight? Since the release of Disney's trailer, it has become increasingly clear that one adaptation is being received far better than the other. The visual elements of Disney's film have also faced criticism, with many fans commenting that the CGI looks more like a live-action green screen, reminiscent of Shrek, than a magical retelling of a classic fairy tale. In contrast, there have been successful adaptations of Snow White that have utilized real sets and practical effects to create enchanting visuals. Interestingly, the attention has shifted from the films themselves to the actresses portraying the characters. While Brett Cooper's version has been met with excitement and mostly positive feedback, Zegler seems to be feeling the heat of the competition. Reports suggest that Rachel is struggling with the backlash, especially in light of Brett's vocal and respectful approach to the ongoing controversies surrounding her.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things. And I will be okay.